This is the weekly update for Mr. Fix's science class for the week of November 5th. All right, so we had a homeschool connection number 2. So what students had to do is they had to read the passage below, and they had to think about their experiences so far when choosing their answers. So they had a condition here, so they read that passage. And then they had, 6 different students share their thinking about what happened with the ball rolling on a surface. And students had to choose which person they agreed with most and explain with a minimum 2 sentences to get full credit why they chose that. They had to explain their thinking. Then they had to go home. They had to work with a person at their home, and they had to interview that person. They were practicing paraphrasing skill. So paraphrasing means they had to basically explain in their own words what the other person's thinking was. That gives that other person an opportunity to clarify their thinking. So it's a good skill. So they had to write in their own words, paraphrase what that person thought. And then they had to do the challenge. Again, 2 sentences minimum for the paraphrasing. So that was collected on Wednesday and scored. Since the challenge, we started on Monday as well. So students were shown this sensor here, and a person stood in front of the sensor, and when the sensor was turned on, and observations were recorded for what happened in the graph and the data table. So they then had to brainstorm what they thought was the function of the sensor, and then they had to try to explain how it worked. And so we did that, and we're going to continue using the sensor throughout the unit. We then did force and motion lesson 1.2. I'm not going to go over the details because the details are in the video walkthrough, so when students are absent, so they can watch the walkthrough to see how the slide deck went. So in that lesson, it included activities, the 1.2.1, the warm-up, 1.2.2, 2.3, 2.4. So that was all done in class. And then we updated page 16 of the reference notebook, and that's really, really important. So we copied down the unit question, how do forces affect motion, and the chapter 1 question, what caused the pod to change direction. So this is really important. Students copy this down into page 16 of the reference notebook. So we did also I collected homeschool connection on Wednesday. That was scored. We then started lesson 1.3 with the warm-up, gathering evidence about the velocity. We continued 1.3. We finished activity 3, 4, and 5. We started slide deck lesson 1.4.1 with the warm-up. We didn't get through the rest of that activity or that lesson on Thursday. Then Friday we did the challenge statement. Since Binker's not moving, no force to exert on him. It's a Google form assignment that we did in class. We also, on page 17 of the reference notebook, we did push mow and pull mow. Again, if we take a look at the reference notebook, let's take a look at it. All right, so page 17 of the reference notebook, we glued it into this notebook. We did a handout. We identified all objects that were exerting a force or pushing or pulling mow to get a better understanding of how objects push or pull or exert forces on other objects, to get that kind of in our mindset. And then we finally did an Edpuzzle assignment, what is force? So that's what we did this week. Again, if any students are absent, watch the video walkthroughs. Make sure you do any missing work and notify me through email that you've done them. All right, have a good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.